Okay, I think we shall start now. All right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Praise be to Allah, the Almighty, who has given us an opportunity to meet, via Google Meet today. And of course, the aim is to share our experience living and studying overseas. And then salawat and salutation is given to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, who has brought us from the darkness to the lightness and full of knowledge in this world. And honorable, our speaker today, Teuku Muhammad Ridha, and then a representative of postgraduate students of Unsyah, and then from NASI, and from Bimbingan Ceria, and from Rumah Bahasa, and Scholarship Hunters, Langsa, and audience that I cannot mention per person. And today we invite a speaker from Adelaide, so very far from us, from Aceh, to share his experience being in overseas to pursue his PhD study. So the information, of course, would inspire us to study there too, inshallah, right?
Mm.
And before we start, I would like to read biodata of our speaker. So the speaker's name is Teuku Muhammad Ridha Auwal, and right now he's a PhD candidate at the Department of Linguistics, School of Humanities, Faculty of Arts, University of Adelaide, Australia. Yeah, people say Adelaide, but we could say Adelaide too. And before that, he took his master of applied linguistics at School of Languages, Cultures, Literatures, and Linguistics, the Faculty of Arts at Monash University, Melbourne, Australia in 2013 till 2014. And currently, he is a lecturer as well as an English lecturer at the study program of English Education Department, Teacher Training and Education of Samudra University, Kota Langsa. And today, we are so happy that he could, spare his time to share with us about his experience being overseas. So the topic that we raised today is Adelaide, a beautiful and convenient place for international students to pursue further studies. So Ridha, talking about Adelaide, or Adelaide, it reminds me 17 years ago when I was taking a short course at University of South Australia, which is next door, which is beside your school, of course, right? At the Northern Terrace, right?
Yeah.
But I don't take a long time for this introduction. What I just want to say is at least there are 7 reasons why we could choose Australia as a place to study. The firstly is in terms of the geography. So Australia is very close to Indonesia, about 8 hours flight from Jakarta, or about 9 or 10 hours from Indonesia. And then, Australia has a very reputable, many reputable universities. And if we see the the world rank, it is recorded as the 32 world rank universities right now, which is very good. And also another interesting thing is we can work while undertaking our study, which is 24 hours a week if we are recorded as a student, or 24 hours during the break time, during the summertime, right? And later on, perhaps, you could mention about that one too. And then, the universities give high support for international students to make a success. And the life quality is, of course, very high and guaranteed to be in a very good health, education, and so forth. And it is multicultural community. I think you mentioned that the other day, Ridha, that the people in Australia accept a multicultural diversity. And also, it has many beautiful places. Yeah, when I was in Adelaide, I visited some interesting places too. well, at least mall in front of our university, the Rando Mall, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And I think
right,
that
right.
the Rando Mall is still there. And also I
Yeah,
visited like Kangaroo Island and then Barossa Valley, Glenelg, the beach, right? And so
right.
forth. Okay, now let's welcome our speaker to talk about his experience for approximately 10 to 15 minutes, right? Is that right, Rida?
Okay,
And
sure,
then
yeah.
later on, we would like to open the Q&A session after the presentation.
Okay, great.
Okay, I think that's all the introduction that I could give you. And now, the time is yours, Rida.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. Right. Really happy to be here, and thank you for having me. Can I like to try to share my PowerPoint? So
Yep.
can everybody like listen my voice? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yeah, I think they.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, all of them can hear you because we asked them to mute for a while.
Yep.
Okay.
So
Yes, it is clear. That's very good, Rami.
great.
Thank you.
Oh, hang on a second. So can everyone see the PowerPoint?
Yep.
Yep.
Totally.
Okay. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you very much for Pak Iskandar, who has already invited me to take part in this session. I am really happy. To be honest, I'm honored and flattered to be one of the speakers. I think this is a very good chance for me to share my experiences studying here in Adelaide. So today, well, this is very interesting topic, and this topic actually is chosen by Pak Iskandar. So I'm gonna be real happy to discuss about this topic. So Adelaide, a beautiful and convenient place for international students to pursue further studies. All right. First of all, I'd like to start with Adelaide is one of the most livable cities in the world. So if you guys have like a dream to pursue your studies overseas or abroad, and then especially in Australia, I think you should consider to be here in Adelaide. Why? Because first, it's one of the most livable cities in the world, and then this city is very beautiful. So the first time I came here, I just love everything about this city. The people, the food, the buildings, the weather, every single thing. Just like Pak Iskandar mentioned earlier. So and also what makes this city is very interesting as well to be or to be here is because the city is not too crowded. It's quiet and then it's very calm, but still the people are very friendly. So if you guys have the planning to pursue your PhD programs and then you're gonna bring your family, I think this is the best place to be. Right, and then the second one is also has already mentioned by Pak Iskandar. Adelaide is a multicultural place. So you're gonna find different cultures, ethnics, religions, and also international communities, So this place, you're going to learn more about a variety of cultures in the world. And then it's gonna help you especially, and me myself, of course, to become more open-minded, to embrace the diversity that this world can offer us. And of course, here, Adelaide hosts more than like 10,000, I think, of the international students. So like thousands of international students come here and then consider Adelaide as their second home almost every single year. So I think it's a really, really good place to be and to learn about the cultures, the ethnics, like the communities that can lead us to be more open-minded and then to strengthen our international network and everything else. And this is very important, I think, because we're planning to study here. So Adelaide has, globally ranked educational institutions. So I only mentioned 3 universities here, which are very quite famous, I think, and also well known in Indonesia or for the Aceh students. So first is the University of Adelaide. This is where I'm studying right now. And the second one is Flinders University. And the third one is also a University of South Australia, which is a neighbor actually to the University of Adelaide. So if you guys can see the pictures, so that is the picture, the background picture is the University of Adelaide picture. Okay, because I'm studying at University of Adelaide right now, so I'm going to focus discussing about this university. The University of Adelaide is ranked in the top 1% of universities worldwide and a member of Australia's Group of 8, which means that it's top universities in Australia. So there are 8 universities who join this Group of 8, and University of Adelaide is one of them. As you can see, the buildings are also very, beautiful, which really make me mesmerized when the first time I came here. I saw the buildings, I took a lot of pictures, to change my profile pictures, to share it, just to flaunt, to show off and everything else. So I think that's really good chance, that seems like in the Harry Potter movies, And also the University of Adelaide offering a quite a range of disciplines. I'm currently enrolling in the Department of Linguistics. So because I think most of us here are coming from the same backgrounds, which is education. So University of Adelaide has Department of Linguistics, which lies under the School of Humanities, and it also has the School of Education. So both linguistic and education lies under the same faculty of arts. So you guys can choose whether you want to focus more on the linguistics or on the education. So Adelaide offer both of them, right? And yep. Another one to be considered why to study here in Adelaide, because the beauty of the Australian nature. So from the beautiful beaches to the gorgeous to the amazing and awesome hills you can find here in Adelaide. So this picture is the Noarlunga beach, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm sorry guys, most of the picture I'm taken from the Google. I have my own picture, but it's not really good quality, and I'm not really good at taking photographs. So I just took it from the Google. So yeah, this is one of the beaches that I usually spend my weekend. And this beach is already mentioned by Iskandar, Glenelg Beach, which is very famous. It's pretty close from the city, and it's also close from my units or my home. So most of the time when I remember my family, especially my kids, I'm gonna go there, enjoying sunset, having a coffee, sitting alone, just a kind of indie person. And this is the hills, one of the hills. And these colorful trees, actually, we can enjoy this view in this season. So today is the autumn season. So during the autumn, the trees are gonna change their color to be colorful. So this hill is called Botanic Garden. It's a very beautiful place, and it's closed actually for a couple of months because of the pandemic. So due to the pandemic, it's closed quite a while, and it just opened last week. So many people visited this place last week, including us. So we went to to see the colorful trees last week. Sorry for for showing you this picture. So we went there last week to the Mount Lofty Botanic Garden. Sorry. And what else to be that make Adelaide is interesting is the food, because of over 100 international students are coming here, so the food is also very international, and not only you can taste the food, with a different kind of food, but also here you can learn to strengthen your social network, international network, and because the food, the kind of the food, and also the price also quite vary compared to in Aceh perhaps, and one of the most interesting things as well, the food here, if the food is expensive here, I think it's probably going to be cheap there. And if something is cheaper there, it's going to be expensive here. So that's quite interesting. And then a different kind of food. So whatever food that you like to taste, like the Indian cuisines, Indonesian food, Chinese food, or Western food. So everything is available here in Adelaide. And great public transportation. I think I should mention, I'm supposed to mention this. This is a tram. This picture is a tram. A tram is actually like a city transportation. So within the Adelaide city, taking tram is free. So you can go around the Adelaide city, just took a tram, and then it's gonna be free. And the public transportation here in Adelaide is also very reliable. It means that like you can rely on the public transportation, the timetable and everything else. So you just need to have like the Metro card, and you're gonna get a concession because as a student, as a student, we're gonna get concession or discount. So we can recharge the Metro card. We can use that single Metro card to take a tram, train, and then bus. So yeah, it's gonna be really good though. And then it's very integrated. Like it can bring you from one city to another, from one place to another, by this mode of the transportation. And not to mention that the Adelaide is also well known as the state of the festival. So Adelaide hosts like 100 of festivals within a year, like international festival, everything. So music, movies, So I think that's gonna be good place to study, because when you get stressed, and this is the place to go when you have a free time, to spend your pastimes and to spend your leisure time. I think going to the festival is really good option, and that's what I'm doing most of the time actually. And Adelaide also one of the most affordable cities. Maybe that's like the most affordable cities in Australia. I have been in Melbourne. I spent 1.5 years in Melbourne. I love Melbourne, of course, but compared to the Adelaide, Melbourne is quite expensive. So Adelaide is very, it's cheap. Everything is cheap. You can save money. Like you got scholarship, and then you save money, so you can spend like more money on maybe your hobbies, on everything. So in terms of the price, the unions and the foods and everything, it's quite cheaper compared to other cities in Australia. And the last one is the weather. So if you see the picture, this is the winter, so you're gonna find the snow. I'm not really sure that it's gonna be snow in Adelaide, but maybe there is a couple places that we can find snow in Adelaide, but more on the hills. And if you see during the autumn, this is the autumn, you're gonna find like a lot of trees gonna change the color to be much more colorful, red, yellow, and everything. I don't know. I'm not really sure what kind of color is that. I don't even remember the color in Bahasa Indonesia. Sorry about that. And the last one is, this is a very typical spring in Adelaide. So if you're experiencing the spring, you're gonna find this tree a lot. So this is Jacaranda trees, if I'm not mistaken. So you guys can Google by yourself. This is very beautiful during the spring, and also the summer. You're gonna spend a lot of summer during the summers. You're gonna find like a lot of Aussies gonna have the barbecue, spend their times on the beach, and etc. So that is the reasons why you guys have to be here. And the pictures are beautiful, of course. I took it from the Google, but it's much more beautiful if you can experience by yourself. You come here, join me, and then enjoy by yourself. And trust me, it's gonna be much, much more beautiful, more than you can imagine. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ridha, for a very nice presentation. And now I would like to ask everyone to unmute the microphone so that we can ask and answer the questions. Or perhaps those who want to ask questions, please unmute the microphone, and then you can ask straight away to Teuku Muhammad Ridha about anything regarding studying overseas or visiting interesting places in Australia. Okay, now we would like to welcome everyone to ask questions. Kiki, maybe from Langsa, or Zulfi, Febri, and then Rahmi, Meta, Okay. Okay. Perhaps, while waiting for the question from them. Okay. Okay, Enda.
Yeah,
Okay. Rida, could you please tell us, um, your experience completing your PhD. Is there any hindrance or burdens that you face? Like
yeah,
glad and sorrow being a PhD
mm,
student,
right,
because most people say that being a PhD student is very hard. Because um, you have to do a lot of things with the due date, and also with high expectation, of course, from the supervisor, right? And
yes,
perhaps you could share with us a little bit about perhaps your strategy or whatever to overcome the that kind of burden. Okay, yes,
yeah,
please.
yeah. Thank you, Pak. Um, Hopefully that everyone can really relate with my experiences. So yeah, I think it's really hard, of course. Well, studying even in master programs that we're gonna face such difficulties. Uh, so I think now I'm still in the honeymoon phase, which I really still really enjoy, and taking pretty much time to hang out, to spend my time most of the times in campus. And because of this pandemic now, so the building that I'm working usually is closed. So like I have to work from home, and sometimes I also go to the library. But I think I'm really happy because I have the very supportive supervisors, which almost always encourage me, like support me to to do my work properly. So, but I think the problems with PhD is the flexibility. We have the flexible times. We don't really have class. We don't have class or lecture or whatever. So we just keep writing over and over again. So because of that flexibility, I think sometimes we feel like really get stressed because we work on the draft like a whole week. We don't really have pretty much time to spend during the weekend, and especially like my now I'm really stressful, to be honest, because I miss my family so much, and especially my kids. So that's, I think, one of like the biggest obstacles that I've faced so far. But just to, I think, like to give to solve this problem, to cope with these issues, now I try to like to divide my time. So I'm gonna divide like the weekdays. I'm going to work from like 9 a.m. to the 5 p.m. every single day. I just go to the library, read whatever I can, and write even a single paragraph. And on the weekends, I'm gonna stop working. So I'm gonna enjoy my life, like having fun with my friends or even sometimes alone. But most of the times, I would like to say to everyone here, I think, well, PhD is scary, but it's not as scary as we imagine. So when you guys come here, you're gonna love it. Trust me, you're gonna really, really love it. And especially like when you try to post on the Facebook, try to show off. I think that's the best part. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh, thank you very much. I like the term that you use. Uh, oh, sorry.
Hello, sir.
Oh, yes. Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Rami, do you want to ask a question?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yes, please.
Uh, Good morning, sir and Mr. Teuku Auwal. This is the
Good
first
morning.
time to me to listen directly how life in Adelaide. So
Right.
the first thing that I want to ask to you, because you are pursuing your PhD there, and you mentioned before that you spend your time on of your college because you spend more time in writing. So uh, for PhD student, how do you think about the resource and book available in your college and around your town? I mean, previously when I took my study, we have such a cheap bookstore. I mean, in Indonesian we can say that pasar buku loa, kayak pasar buku bekas gitu, which is
Right.
very cheap. Even it is cheaper from the real bookstore, and the publisher also really good, like Longman, Cambridge, and anything. And it and how is in Adelaide? Do you still do you have that kind of store in that town? Yeah, thank you.
Okay, it's very good questions from Ibu Rahmi. Okay, Rida, could you please respond to the questions?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Burami, for the question. That's really good questions. To be honest, I'm not really sure that the bookstore here is cheaper or not compared to Indonesia, but I think if we like buy the book here, maybe it's gonna be pretty cheap. But still, if we compare it from dollar to rupiah, maybe it's still very expensive. But like speaking to the sources, now most of the times I use sources from the library, because University of Adelaide has the very sophisticated and state-of-the-art facilities in the library, and including the books. So most of the books that I'm looking for, I can find on the library. So that make me doesn't have to go to the bookstore to get it or to buy it. So that's why I'm not really, I don't really have any idea about the bookstore. But I think it has the bookstore. But the library, that what make Library of the Adelaide is very interesting. So almost all the books that I'm looking for, the articles, the journals, so I can find through the library. And if it doesn't have in the University of Adelaide's library, we can also borrow from other library. So we just need like to notify the staff of the library that we need this particular book, and then they're going to look for and to borrow from other universities' library in South Australia. So which means that every single book that we can find online, and then we can, if the library doesn't provide the book to us, they will help us to find a book if it's available in other libraries. So most of the time, I'm using the sources from the library, the books, the articles, the journals, and everything. But still, I think I think that's also the good idea, like to find the bookstore. And I'm kind of cheap though. You know, I love to look at the cheaper stuff, things, including books and everything. You know, yeah. So thank you, Rahmi. I think I'm not really sure about the bookstore, but the library like offers you a rich sources, you know, to get. Yeah.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Rida. I think it is very interesting. So a good thing being a PhD in Australia, you know, you can borrow about 40 books, 40 books for about 3 months. And also if you need a book which is not available in the library, you could propose to the faculty to buy you a book. So that is a very nice thing being a PhD student. I like the term used by Father and Rida that PhD is as scary, but not as scary as we thought, which is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, that's very good. Okay, now you would like to pick up another question?
Halo Bang TM.
Hi.
Okay, Meta. Okay, yes, please.
How are you Bang TM? Long time no see.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Thank you, Meta. It's been a while, yeah.
I cannot imagine how you miss your children.
Oh yeah, I miss them so much. Yeah.
Okay. Now I'm I would like to ask you a question, maybe ask your suggestion about. I'm wondering that I'm going to continue my study abroad in Australia probably, and but I'm still confused. What focus of study should I choose? I mean, in Asia, I learned so many things, not specific. You know, we learn linguistics, we learn about education, and so many things. So it's confusing for me to decide my focus on the PhD. So, how do you suggest me? What do you think it is important for today's need? Today's need. I mean, the need or the trend of education nowadays. Because I'm confused. Like linguistics, we have so many masters here. And I'm not interested in it. I'm interested in special education, but my master is English, so it's really confusing. I need your suggestion.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. So very nice questions from Meta. Perhaps Ridha could, could respond to the questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Pat. Thank you, Meta. It's been a while since we last met. Things. Yeah. Hopefully that we can meet here. Yeah, inshallah. So that's really interesting question. The focus of the study. The most important thing is for me, like, please don't cherry pick the study that you want to do during the PhD, because you're going to spend like 4 years doing exactly the same thing. So you're going to have like something that patient, like you're passionate to do, So the patient is very important. If you're not interested in linguistics, so I strongly suggest that please do not do that during the PhD, because you're gonna do like the same things for the 4 years, and if you're gonna get bored, you're gonna get stuck, and you're gonna get stressed. So please do not cherry pick it out. So I think the most important thing to focus on the study is the patient. You're gonna find your patient. What is your patient? Like you said before about education, because studying here they offer like a range of disciplines, so you can choose whatever you want to do. So first of all, decide which patients that you like. For instance, based on my experience, I love doing linguistics, focus more on the social linguistics. So my master programs also strongly related to social linguistics. So when I'm doing PhD, the first time I try to do is I write my proposal. So my proposal is that's like the key during the PhD, because after I finish my proposal, I think, okay, I'm gonna this study, I'm gonna focus on this field. So, and then I write down my proposal, and then I try to find the supervisors. I am very lucky because my first approach to supervisors, Pak Zulfadli helped me. He helped me a lot. Because my supervisors right now are actually my Pak Zulfadli supervisor, previous supervisors. So my principal and co-supervisors. So and then first of all, find your patient. After you find your patient, I think I'm gonna focus on this field. Write down your proposal, okay, and then find the supervisors, and then find the scholarship. So I think those stage sounds very easy, but trust me, it's really, really hard to do, because like when you focus writing on proposal, you have to find your supervisor. When you get your supervisor, it doesn't mean you get the scholarship. It means that you have to find the field that scholarship focus, because the scholarship have like a different focus like every year. For example, like this year, maybe they focus on education, but the next year maybe like scholarship focus more on the arts, on the, you know, like different things. So you really have to I think to try to cope with, you know, with those kind of issues, because we're gonna have like a lot of things to do and to achieve. And if you know, you're gonna take like a year or maybe like 6 months at least to prepare all the things, and be passionate about it, and you're gonna get it, inshallah.
All right, inshallah. Well, very interesting topic that we discussed today, but we, you know, the time is very limited for us to discuss today. And okay, hopefully, you know, our
I have
meeting
one
today.
question again.
Oh, okay, Ridha. Oh, Ridha.
Umar, sir.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Umar. Okay,
Sir, Assalamualaikum.
okay.
Yeah, Umar. Okay.
Oh, Umar.
Assalamualaikum
Okay.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
All right.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
My name is Umar. Thank you for your chance to Mr. Teuku Auwal. You maybe you know recognize me before that. And then I say thank you for my first supervisor in making thesis, IskandarAbdulSamad. It was definitely an enriching experience and went far beyond my expectations. My question is, in Adelaide University, have a specific subject area like English academic purpose or the other subject area? Can you explain about the specific subject area in Adelaide?
Okay. Yeah. Thank
Right.
you, Omar.
Okay. Thank you very much,
All
Umar,
about,
for
that's
very.
all, my question.
Yeah. All right. Rida, can you catch the question?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, but thank you, Pak Umar, for the questions. I think it has a specific subject academic area, of course, and it's divided into departments of schools. So the fields might be quite broad, but it's going to be like more specific into the department of the school. I'm not really sure what kind of specific academic area you means, but for the PhD, because we don't have class, I mean, when the first time you come to the PhD milestone, we have the milestone, which means that we have like the time frame for 6 months that you're gonna pass the proposal, and another 6 months the major review, and etc. But we don't really have the specific class or the specific subject. But we do have the research class that we have to take, but that's not really compulsory. That's only the sit in the class. But having said that, I think we do have the specific, the specific subject if you want to learn, but that's not for the PhD level, I think, because in the PhD you will not, or you're not going to have the class. So it's more like to the master program. We're gonna have like the specific classes, but for the PhD program, you only need to have like the specific area that you're going to focus, and that supervisor is gonna work with you with that particular field, that specific area or the subject that you are trying to write during your PhD journey, I think.
All right, thank you very much. It's very clear, very deep explanation. And now I would like to pick up the last question, perhaps, from Pak Febri from Langsa. Okay, Pak Febri, okay, the time is yours. Febri? Okay, mana Febri? Febri, can you unmute the? Okay, can you unmute the microphone? Can you? Okay, because I cannot unmute you. Can you unmute the microphone, which is located? Okay, right. Oh no, I'm sorry. We can't hear you.
Udah Jumat di sana, Pak.
Yeah, Febri, can you? Okay, the mute the microphone. Did you see the microphone? Yeah. touch your screen and unmute your microphone. Febri is from Langsa, TM Rida.
Oh, I see.
Right.
Yeah.
I think he will ask a very interesting question. All right. Yeah. Can you get it, Febri? No? All right. Okay. Well, if not,
I think we have.
perhaps, Umar question will be the last question.
I think we have another one from
From where?
Let's see, from
Safrida. Oh, okay. Okay, yes, please. Safrida Wati. Okay, you may ask the questions. Safrida? Where is Safrida? Safrida Wati? Okay, you need to unmute the the microphone too. Okay, okay. Okay, right. Well, that's fine. Well, this is only the the technical
from Lydia.
Problem.
Lydia is that right?
Hello.
Rahmiati Saifullah. Yes. Okay. Yes. Rahmiati Saifullah, you want to ask a question?
Okay, Pak.
Okay. Yep. Can you speak loudly, please?
Okay. Halo Pak TM.
Hi, Kak Rami.
Okay. Okay.
She's my colleague though.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, at Unsam.
All right.
Yeah.
Pak TM, we know that your postgraduate before is from Monash University, right?
Yes.
Yeah, and I just want to ask, what is the different atmosphere between Monash University and Adelaide University? And then the second question is, we know that right now we are in the COVID-19 pandemic years. So what is how about the teaching learning process during pandemic life in Adelaide University right now? Okay, thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Rahmiati, for a very nice question, very up to date. Okay. Now we would like to welcome Pak Ridha to respond to the question. Okay, the time is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Pat. Thank you, Kak Rami, for the question. I think that's really good questions. I love both of my campus. Monash is an incredible campus, and of course, the Adelaide now is my home, which is also very, very like to express my deep gratitude to be part of those two universities. So both of them are quite similar though, because both Monash University and Adelaide universities focus because I took the linguistic subject when I was at Monash, and also I continue my linguistic now when I'm enrolling in Adelaide. So I don't really see the difference between these two universities, because I love them as much as I love UNSYIah, of course, in my undergraduate program. So both Monash and Adelaide are part of the member of it in Australia. But to be honest, to be here in Adelaide is quite challenging because of, I think, the accents. I don't really recognize the accents when I was in Melbourne, because maybe like because there's so many international students as well there. But being here in Adelaide, I just realized that the accents speaking here is quite it's a very Australian accents. Like when they say. Like Iskandar said before, Adelaide, when they say Adelaide, and then good day, mind, like cheers, mind, So the way how they express the word is quite interesting, though. I knew about it before, but I have never experienced this when I was in Melbourne. But I know, like having heard that quite a lot of times when I was in Adelaide. But to be fair, both Monash and Adelaide offer us like very great educational atmosphere environment to be. So I strongly recommend you, whether you want to go to Monash or to Adelaide, both of them are okay, as long as that in Australia, because we are Australian squad. And then teaching during the COVID-19, I think it's pretty much similar to Indonesia, because the campus has already been closed. I couldn't work at my office because as a PhD student, we have our own office of room. So we got to work all day, all night in the office. And because this pandemic, we have to work from home. So all the teaching learning process is doing through Zoom and also other online facilities. And I have the meeting, the regular meeting with my supervisors also via Zooms and also other online stuff and facilities. So yeah, it's quite similar, just like what we're doing right now. So most of the stuff, most of the the thing that we are doing today is through the online, and especially through Zoom in University of Adelaide, I think. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Ridha, for the question. And Rahmi, thank you very much for your participation. And I know that there are more than 3 people who like to ask, like Pak Zulfi, and then Bu Lydia, and then Bu Safrida, and then Pak Umar also asked your telephone number, Pak Ridha. All right. I think Fitri maybe would like to ask question too. Okay, but the time, is very limited. Well, we only allocate about 1 hour, and perhaps later on, we could continue talking about specifically about doing PhD. So, dear all audience, so the topic is very interesting. Of course, it's very matched to what we expect to hear from Pak Ridha, very far from Adelaide.
Yeah.
And as you have already heard that, Australia is a very beautiful and convenient country, particularly Adelaide. And this is, the best place for us as international students to study. So there are some tips that has been given by Pak Ridha, how to be success, doing your PhD. So the first thing is you have to choose your topic of interest, because you will interact with this kind of topic for the whole program. Up to five years, perhaps, if you cannot finish within 4 years.
Yeah.
I did a PhD in 5 years. It's very hard,
It is.
And then, you have to be able to select and perhaps approach your potential supervisor. And I could assume that your approach should be prior to your program, right?
Yeah.
And then find a scholarship. Even though if you have much money, just try to find a scholarship, because by finding scholarship, actually you have already fighting with other brilliant students. My supervisor ever said that those who are studying by a scholarship is like smarter students. We are smart already, and then when we get a scholarship, means that we are smarter, because we fight with other smart students.
Yeah.
And also, once you are accepted as a student, so you have to work with your time management. So time management is very important. Like Pak Ridha before, he said that during the weekdays, he focuses on his PhD project with writing and everything. And during the weekend, he stops all the writing and try to do a refreshing. All right.
Right.
And hope that this presentation could inspire all of us, particularly those who have already completed a master degree, to pursue PhD degree later on. So don't wait till tomorrow. Okay, prepare yourself now with your high competence and skills that you have, and then with those, all of those, try to apply for the scholarship. All right. Okay, Ridha, do you have any last word that you would like to give to the audience before we end the session?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for having me. I'm really honored. I'm really flattered to be here, and especially to share my experiences. And I can't wait to see you guys here in Adelaide, so we can hang out together and enjoy everything together.
Thank you very much. Very nice word. Hopefully, all of us can go there. Inshallah.
Yeah, I mean, inshallah.
Okay. It's 12 o'clock here, so we are preparing for Jumat prayer.
I see.
And thank you very much, Ridha, for
Thank you very much.
for your contribution to us. It's really inspiring. And thank you very much for all of audience who have already participated, right? And sorry, we can't take all your questions because of the time constraint. All right, so we stop the session by saying Alhamdulillah, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.